consistency issue when you try to do it, and
Right.
it doesn't start and stop when you want it to. And laughter needs to sound organic and not mechanic.
Yeah.
So, but the good news is I'm getting closer and closer
We're
and
not
closer.
live yet, right?
We're live right at 7 o'clock. Hold on.
Right at 7.
Not yet. It's preparing the stream. I'll let you know exactly when we go live.
You know, you introduced me. I'll be right back.
All right. So
Do it that way.
it's yeah. So I've got the indicator of when. Okay, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Pod Brother Nation, My Laughers Comedy Club Comedy Night. And as you can see, let me switch to a camera where you can see my beautiful face. There I am. And here I am right here. I can just flip this around. So I've got a couple of cameras going here. Tonight I am very proud to bring to you very funny guy, good friend of mine, Bill Devlin, is all the way from Ireland, eh? No, actually his Irish descent, but he's from Minnesota and he lives here in California, making a huge dent in the world of comedy and acting and now online internet cyber comedy theater comedy. And nobody could be any happier than me because it's on Pod Brother Nation Comedy Network. So there it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, put your hands, your feet, your testicles, your ears, your lips, anything together that you can clap to make some noise for the very funny Mr. Bill Devlin.
Hey, here we are, folks. How you doing? Yeah. So this is where we need clapping and laughter. It's fine. It's we're still here on day. What day is it of the? We're like 3 months into
Yeah,
our.
we're like 3 months into this bad boy, so we're
3 months into the quarantine. Unless I found out, unless you're in Newport Beach, I was there on Sunday. A friend was getting married, and it was like going to a whole new land. Like Newport Beach, everything's open, bars are open, restaurants open, beach is open, and they're all packed, and nobody's wearing a mask. It's like like a crazy land where COVID never existed, or maybe that wasn't. Maybe we're in the crazy land, but yeah, it's people in Newport don't seem to care about it. So that's what I learned. Have you been to Newport, Herbert?
Oh, not recently, but yeah, it is very much the, little enclave of complete privilege.
Yes. So there you go. I like Herbert. That's Herbert, ladies and gentlemen, in his herb garden or whatever. He's growing herbs.
herbs,
Wacky.
herbs in the herb garden, herbs in the herbs and
Herb.
herbs.
But yeah, so they're starting to open some things up this weekend. Actually, Friday. This Friday in Los Angeles. I know this is going all over the world, but in Los Angeles, California, where I'm at, and it's about 100 degrees out. My Jameson is actually the bottles are getting hot. It's hot. It's a hot Irish whiskey. It's a hot. They're turning into hot toddies back there. But it is.
What's a
What's
hot
a hot?
toddy, Bill? You got to explain that to the listeners.
Oh, it's an Irish whiskey. It's a hot Irish whiskey drink with I don't know what's all in it. There's toddy and there's hot Irish whiskey. The most important thing is hot Irish whiskey.
I want to meet Toddy because if she's in whiskey,
It,
she's got to be fun.
I don't know. It's an old timey drink, like an old fashioned they still have. But my parents would drink a hot toddy usually around the holidays, and I know there's a hot whiskey involved, and it's delicious. I know that because I liked them when I was a kid. As a little kid, we would drink hot toddies and cream de mint and cream de cocoa around the holidays, or really any kind of days is what we do. But so they're opening stuff up, so that's good news. And there's a list of things. There was a list of things, and then the danger level. The bars are obviously the most dangerous to go into because people are drunk and spreading the virus. But I don't know, buffets. I don't know if buffets are on the list, but my wife loves buffets. She Like I don't know what it is about buffets, but my wife loves buffets. She's only weighs like 100 pounds, but she's the only person that she's a small Asian woman, 100 pounds, but she can eat her weight in king crab. That's like she'll go to a buffet and she'll like there's a like it's like a scene from the Great Crab Massacre of 1889. It's like piles of crab shells, and she's just sitting there cracking and eating. And like they've come up with rules at the buffets because of my wife. Like you can only sit for no more than 4 hours, and like it's her picture on there. It's her picture posted on the buffet. I mean, she can eat crab like no one's ever witnessed. I'm telling you, it's what's with seafood buffets? Like people go nuts when they see seafood buffets, and like in Vegas, if it's a seafood buffet, people are just crazy. There's a huge line around the block for the seafood buffet, and it's not even good seafood, but people are like, we're going all right. We get that seafood, all you can eat seafood buffet. That's what we're getting. They go crazy for it, and I don't know what. I've been dragged in. I can't eat as much. I can't eat that much like at a buffet. And I went to a all-you-can-eat sushi in Vegas. This was just before the pandemic happened. We were in Vegas in December. There was all-you-can-eat sushi, but there were rules. These buffet places, they figured it out. They got to make rules. And one of the rules was you have to eat the rice, which my wife has a rule. When she's eating all-you-can-eat sushi, she will not eat the rice. So these were conflicting rules. But so what she comes up with a plan. My wife always comes up with some kind of a plan to get around the rules. So her plan was she would put the rice in a napkin, and then she'd eat the sushi. And then once the rice piled up, like she'd get a big ball of rice, and I would smuggle it out into the parking lot. Like all of a sudden, like after several times, it's like one of those Shawshank prison movies, you know, where they gotta smuggle. I'm out in the parking lot trying to act natural, and rice is coming out of my pants. You know, trying to trickle the rice around, acting natural in the parking lot.
Were you keister smuggling rice out?
I didn't keister it. That's a different show. I was smuggling. People are like, why are pigeons following that man? Why are pigeons pecking at his pocket? But yeah, smuggling. They're right, and it worked. The plan worked. My wife ate her fill of sushi, and I never got caught. But there's ways around. I mean, buffets. I'm not a big fan. I'll go to buffets once in a while, but they have that chocolate fountain, that disgusting chocolate fountain. Like that's, you know, I don't know. I drank out of it once. I took a drink out of it, and then I realized that, you know, other people probably drank out of this thing too, and it's the same chocolate that's recirculating through the fountain. It's disgusting. Chocolate fountains. What else are we gonna talk about? Oh, you could eat sushi. I don't know. As long as we're on the subject of my wife and we're talking about, so she's Asian. My wife's Asian. And so is her family. People that don't know, but yeah, she's from Thailand. She makes she's a great chef. It's fantastic Thai food, and I go to Thailand once in a while. There's you don't see buffets in Thailand now that I think about it. But anyway, we go. Oh, in Thailand, I was impressed to see that they were worried about the turtles and the straws. So there's a couple restaurants where they said, we don't give you straws because the straws are killing the turtles. But the picture was a turtle, and he was like on his belly. He's on his back with his belly up, and literally he was being impaled by a straw. Like, I don't think that's how it's happening. I don't think people are actually stabbing turtles with straws. But where was I? I don't know. We do things. We do things. Oh, I went past the Department of Aging. Have you guys? It's downtown LA. It's the Department of Aging. When you think about it, if you look at it, it's called DOA. That's just cruel, folks. That's not right. You know? Anywho, my wife, she, in addition to buffets, she loves Groupons. And Groupons are good. You know, once in a while you get a Groupon. It's a discount for a dinner or a movie or, you know, something like this. So she says, oh, I got a Groupon for a spa. I'm like, sounds good. Spa in Beverly Hills. I'm like, okay. So she's like, we'll go. So we go to this building in Beverly Hills and we go up to this place for the spa. And the receptionist checks my wife in, and somebody comes out and brings her into a room, and then the receptionist is like, "Come with me, Mr. Devlin," and I'm like, "Okay." So she brings me into this room, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, "This is, you know what?" There's like some machinery, there's like a hospital type of a bed situation. She's like, lay on that bed and take off your pants, Mr. Devlin." I'm like, this is a weird fucking spa. What the hell is this place? So I'm a guy, so I'm gonna find out what's gonna happen. So I do it, and I'm laying there, and then she wheels this machinery up to me, and I'm like, what the hell is? And she's got some stuff in her hand, and I'm looking confused, and she's like, your wife didn't tell you what this was for, did she, Mr. Devlin? And I'm like, no, she didn't. And he's like, well, you're going to find out. And I found out that she said it was a spa because she couldn't remember how to say hydrocolon therapy. Yeah, I'm at a place. If you guys don't know what that is, the woman's like, you're going to find out. And she sticks a tube in my ass. Yeah, so I get a tube in my ass. And then what they do is they pump you with water and hot water, and then somehow it recirculates back out as to cleanse your colon. Like this is what the elite are doing or something. I don't know, but it's supposed to cleanse out your system. And yeah, this is a Groupon, folks. Like most people, like Steven, you would be having like a nice piece of cheesecake or something. I get a tube in my ass. That's my Groupon. And so, and then, and it even gets worse. So then, this is all happening now. It's going on, and the tube is right up here. It goes right past you. So and it's a clear tube, so you can see what's going by. And the woman decides she is going to point it out. She's like, ooh, look at that, Mr. Devlin, look at there. Like some loose change is rattling through some keys are going through the tube. I'm like, what the hell? Bubble gum from when I was 10 years old. I'm like, oh, it is true. That's but yeah, most people get a creme brulee. I get a Groupon with a tube up my ass. Not a Groupon, that's a poupon. It was terrible. How's the laugh tracks going with this stuff?
I'm laughing, bro.
Oh, you know what happens, by the way? So if you guys I don't know how this works, but when I do this in a comedy club, people's Facebook, because I'm talking about hydrocolon therapy, all of a sudden you're going to get me. Did this happen? All of a sudden you get like hydrocolon therapy things on your Facebook feed and stuff. Like this is what you're into now. Like they're listening everywhere. Like every time I do this bit, I get all this hydrocolon therapy stuff coming through my news feed. So I think you guys are going to get it too. I don't recommend going to one of these.
If I do, I want to get one of them Groupons, from you.
Yeah, you got to get a Groupon for it, for God's sake. If people can look it up, it's probably still on there. It's bananas. Groupon. I don't know. Well, as you can see, people that know me, they know I drink a lot. These are full bottles of Jameson. A few of them are going missing lately during the pandemic, I've noticed most of them are completely full and ready to drink. I don't save empty bottles. Why? What good are they? Right, Herb? Who saves empty bottles? Come on. We need full bottle. But you know, you drink a lot when people are surprised that you haven't got a DUI. Like one time I was with a bunch of people and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I never got a DUI. Everyone's like, what? Like, what's so surprising about that? It's not like I'm driving around with bottles of Jameson in my car. It might be. I don't know. I have a flask. Here's my flask. Steven, you gotta see my flask.
Damn, that's a big flask, bro.
That's what she said.
You know what they say about a man with a big flask, don't you?
A lot of whiskey. A lot of whiskey. I drank all of this once and don't remember much after that. I gotta tell you. But this is your average size Devlin flask. This is what, you know, you get gifts at a wedding. This is what we get. This is what we give out. That's your regular sized flask. I don't know. And people are surprised. I have I'm still getting calls from the fatty liver thing because they think I got a fatty liver, and it turns out my liver is fine, which doctors are even surprised. They're like, "What's wrong with this machine? How can your liver be perfectly fine?" You don't. That reminds me. I actually had open heart surgery. I don't know. Did you know that? Did I ever tell you that, Stephen?
No, you didn't. I did not know that.
2008. I had it's a rare disease. I was sick for 2 months, and it was like the flu. I went to several doctors. They thought that I had the flu, sent me home. And then I was in Thailand. I thought maybe I had malaria, and another doctor tested for malaria. That was fine, but nobody checked my heart. Finally, I knew something was killing me, and my wife said, "You better go to the emergency room. You're going now." And so I went to Cedars-Sinai, and they checked my heart. I had a rare thing called endocarditis. It's bacteria on your heart valve, and one of the symptoms is death. That's you know it's bad when that's one of the symptoms.
So do you have a chest zipper scar you can brag about?
I do. I don't really brag about it, but yeah, I got the big zipper scar, and normally I got lucky. Normally they will give you an artificial heart valve, not heart, artificial, but they have. Anyway, they'll give you an artificial heart valve, but they tested me, and because I was just in Thailand and, you know, swimming in the river and drinking hot jungle water and whatnot, I did everything wrong when I was there. I was so full of bacteria that they're like, "You're so full of bacteria, there's no way we can do surgery on you right now. We gotta wait." So they waited, and that saved me. So I have there was no more bacteria when they did the surgery, so they were able to repair my heart valve. It's a rare case.
Wow.
2008, it's a long time ago. So I'm not on any medications or. Well, this is my medicine cabinet right here. And
Nice.
I'm not on any special medicines or anything, so it worked out well. But it was actually kind of scary. I didn't really think about it until just before I went through the surgery that they were going to actually stop my heart. You know, when you think about that, it's like, wow, they're going to stop my heart to do this surgery. And I was thinking, I wonder how the surgeries went before they figured out that you got to stop the heart to do that surgery. Is like, was there a surgery where they didn't stop the heart and the doctor's like, okay, now, well, we got to stop this thing. It's crazy. We can't do this. And I did, you know, you're actually dead for a few minutes during the thing too. And I did see a white light. I saw a white light, and but because I'm a comedian, I thought that was the light to. So I did 2 more minutes and went back.
That's an inside joke there, buddy.
Inside comedy joke. But I don't know. My family, we drink responsibly, folks. We do. I mean, I see the signs on the freeway that say, drive sober, and I always think, oh, it's a little too late for that. All right. Once a cop pulled me over and he asked if I had anything to drink, and I said yes, I have. And then he said, well, I think I'm going to have you breathe into the breathalyzer. And I'm like, what? You don't believe me? No, we have fun. My family, we have a drunk of the night award, which I recommend if you have a family that's drinking, you do this. Someone has to do an incredible feat of drunkenness to win it's a hard award to win. My mom usually wins it. When she was around, she'd always get the award, but it's not easy. Then we have a drunk of the weekend award, which that's where you have a weekend drunk where the whole family, somebody says weekend drunk, and then everyone has to drink all weekend. And there's stages of awards, like the drunk of the night, and then of course the drunk of the weekend, and crazy things happen. Like one weekend, my brother thought it was funny to throw the couch out of the house and into the yard, and then another brother thought it would be funnier to light the couch on fire, so he lit the couch on fire, and then a couple of my sisters threw the burning couch into the lake, and that was, that's pretty good. But I woke up on Sunday morning from that whole fiasco in the lake, on the couch, with a dog in one hand and a duck in the other, and that's what wins the trophy, folks. Stuff like that. That'll win you. It's hard. It's not an easy trophy to win. We were at a weekend drunk once, and it was Sunday night. My mom looked like she was gonna get it, and that she was too drunk. She couldn't walk anymore, and that was disqualifier. So we carried her to the car and put her in. And my brother's driving from the bar back to the lake. We're up north, and that's what they say in Minnesota. We were up north at the lake, and we were up there and get pulled over by the cops. And so he sees my brother and looks around in the car at all of us. He's like, well, looks like you've all had a little bit too much to drink. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Devlin family. I'm going to have your mom right there drive y'all home. And we're all like, no! So we had to literally, weekend at Bernie's, my mom around to the driver's seat, act like she was fine, and put her in, and act like she's driving away. And she almost made it. She almost made it all the way home, except for the last block. She took out every mailbox on the whole block. And these aren't the ones on the street. These are the mailboxes attached to the houses. That's harder to do. That rekindled her drunk. She won the drunk of the weekend. That'll do it for you. And she was, I don't know. My mom, she'd do funny stuff. What's with moms and frozen food? Like, my mom would always be so proud of how long food would be in the freezer. Like, she'd be, you'd be eating, and she'd be, those meatballs have been in the freezer for 8 years, Billy. Like, Billy, no wonder they're petrified. I don't think that was a good thing. I recently found out that I'm older than Eggo frozen waffles. My mom would never check the pockets when she did the laundry. And one time she washed my stash. Yeah. So I smoked the lint trap. Turned out it was better than the stuff I was buying. I saw whiter whites and brighter brights. My buddies are like, hey man, let's get high. I'm like, yeah, let's bounce. The lint trap. Herb looks like he smoked the lint trap once or twice. We've got a herb garden back there. I don't know, what else was I gonna tell you guys about? So as long as I'm talking about the drinking, I have. I'm not drinking tonight, which is strange, isn't it? But I do have this cell phone, if you've noticed, folks, and the time is 4:20 on it, if you notice that. And this is the Bill Devlin merchandise. You open it up, and it's a flask, and you can pour the delicious drink of your choice. It's usually Jameson, or whatever. It's the iPhone 7 and 7. It's got, and it has a commemorative Bill Devlin Comedy and Cocktails logo on there, and funny jokes, more bars and more places. It's got a camera on the back, so you can take a shot. Literally, you can take a shot. And these iPhones, they're addictive. They were right. The iPhones are addictive, because if you start drinking from one of these, and you can bring them anywhere, in planes, ballparks, when they reopen. I definitely recommend the Bill Devlin Comedy and Cocktails iPhone. Somebody said, oh, you could carve a hole into this and make it into a bong, and then you'd have a iPhone. I actually got pulled over with this thing once, and the cop was like, all right, I know just what you were doing. I saw right what you were doing. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, you were talking on your cell phone. I'm like, no, I wasn't, officer. I was drinking. Apparently that's a worse ticket. I should have never said that. But yes, folks, you can get these on. I'm going to put them on my website. I have them on eBay right now too, so you can buy. You can just look it up. Bill Devlin iPhone flask, and you can purchase one of those, folks. And that's my whole commercial. I did a whole commercial, Stephen.
Nice, very nice.
We'll get back to drinking.
How can I get my hands on one of them high phones?
The high phones. Yes.
I want one.
You want the bong version or the regular version?
I want the regular version.
Yeah. All right, we'll hook you up. But BillDevlin.com will have them shortly. eBay has them. We'll get it. We'll get it for you, folks. I was talking about Thailand a little bit, and I've been there many times because my wife is Thai. There's a town in Thailand called Ding Dang, Thailand. And you can't talk about anything in that town without sounding like an old Southern guy trying not to swear. And it's like, I was driving my car to the Ding Dang market when I got pulled over by the Ding Dang police. He gave me a Ding Dang ticket. Had to go to the Ding Dang court. The Ding Dang judge gave me a Ding Dang fine. Can't do nothing in this Ding Dang town. Dang it. Ding Dang. If the virus came, imagine if the virus came from there. It would be the Ding Dang virus. It is the Ding Dang virus by now. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that goes, crazy stuff that goes in Thailand. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this was in Thailand. A monkey pulls up. It's on the internet. A monkey pulls up on a scooter and tries to kidnap a baby. Literally grabs the baby and tries to kidnap him and carry him away. And then finally somebody saved the baby from getting kidnapped by the monkey. But monkeys, like, people think they're cute. I see people trying to call them down from the trees and, oh, look at the cute monkey. No, monkeys are hairy gangsters is what they are. They're criminals. Monkeys will steal anything you have. They'll steal your phone. They'll steal your purse. And a lot of them are trained to do it. And some people will train the monkey to go and get the thing, and then the guy gets your phone, and the monkey gets a banana. That's what happens. But the monkey, and I had a run-in with a monkey. I mean, I already don't like monkeys. I know that the monkey, you guys know, if monkeys attack you, they'll rip your face off, they'll eat your nutsack, they're the worst fighters. I mean, Well, they're very good fighters, so that makes them the worst fighters. But monkeys. Anyway, I'm terrified of monkeys. I don't like so. But I watched this monkey. I was at the River Kwai, the original River Kwai, and I'm in a jungle hut. And I'm floating on the river on this jungle hut, and I watch a monkey steal a bag of popcorn out of this woman's purse. And he goes up on this rooftop, and then he's eating the popcorn. And I'm like, I got my camera. I think that's kind of a cute picture of a monkey eating the popcorn, right? So I take the picture, and the flash went off. I hate when that happens. The flash went off. Didn't want the flash. Flash goes off. Monkey freaks out, looks at me, drops the popcorn, and then we make eye contact. That's what you don't want to do. Like, I'm looking at him because I'm surprised, and the monkey's looking at me, and then we lock eyes. And you never want this to happen because we lock eyes, and the monkey's like, oh, it's on, sucker. And he starts swinging towards me, and he's coming at me, and I'm running from the monkey, and I'm like, help. And I'm and my wife comes. I'm running. There's nowhere for me to go. I run to the edge of this dock that I'm on, and there's a floating. The River Kwai is floating in, and I'm thinking about jumping in the River Kwai because I know that the monkeys will not jump in that river, and I'm about to jump in the river. But then I remember the reason the monkeys won't jump into the river is because it's full of poisonous snakes and alligators and elephant poop. So maybe I shouldn't jump in the river, but I'd rather jump in the river and take my chances than get my nutsack bitten off by a monkey. And just about that time, my wife comes with a broom and she starts whacking the monkey, and he runs away. So once again, my wife saves the day from the gangster monkey. I just realized I could show you guys since we're on this thing. Here's the. See, that's the monkey with the popcorn. Right there, that's the picture I took of the monkey with the popcorn. And then here's a picture, might be harder to see, but that's my wife with the broom, and she's whacking the monkey on the rooftop of the River Kwai. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't, but that's...
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, so that's what happened. I even got photographic evidence. That's my monkey story. God, stay away from monkeys. If you go to a foreign country, folks, hide everything and don't go near the monkeys. I mean, just in a foreign country in general, you got to be careful. Well, I guess in any country, anywhere really. But we were just in Italy, and we got out of there just in the nick of time. We were in Italy, and they always say, especially when in Rome, they invented pickpocketing in Rome apparently, and so they're like, watch out, So we're like literally are clutching our. Well, I don't have a purse, but my wife's clutching her purse. I think I had a camera bag. You're like literally, you don't want. And we're on the train on our way into Rome, and people are warning us about it, and they're like, they will, the little kids, like there's whole stories, like a little kid will come up and beg you for money, and then someone else, the grandma, will come around the back and slit your purse open like a piñata and take everything out of it. I mean, they have all kinds of ways to get you. So basically, you don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to leave your bag. Like and then the guy telling me about this is like, oh, so be careful, watch that, watch out. And oh, by the way, is this your watch? He's like, it's like a magician, like the people in Italy. He had my watch. I'm like, how did you? What the? But I got what I was talking about. Well, anyway, so that's just be careful. Be careful of the monkeys. Be careful of the pickpockets. And we were in China too. I guess everywhere we go, we've been to all the disaster areas. Now we're in Los Angeles, but we were in China, and I found they really don't like us that much in China. For one thing, people they don't. And the Great Wall, we went to the Great Wall, which I found out. I thought that would be fun to go on the Great Wall, but it's literally stairs going up a mountain. Like it's a whole staircase going. Like there's people having heart attacks. It's crazy, the Great Wall. It was fun to see, but it's not. The Chinese people are laughing because the stupid Americans are climbing up the Great Wall. It was meant to, and our plane got delayed in China, and we delayed. It was delayed till the next morning, so we had to stay overnight in some crazy town that we didn't know where, and it wasn't like a tourist town. So, and they promised us, they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll put you in first class hotel. So we get to the hotel, and the hotel is just horrible. It's a horrible, dirty hotel, and like you don't even want to take your clothes or your in there or touch anything with your penis. You don't want to. And we in the bathroom, there's these rubber shoes. Like we're gonna wear those, like used rubber shoes in the bathroom. Like we're gonna step into those bacterial-ridden shoes. But on the way out the next morning, we looked out and saw that the hotel was called the First Class Hotel. That's the name. So they didn't lie. It was a first class hotel in China. So I guess what's the story? What's the moral? We don't have to have a moral of every story, do we? I was going to tell you. What else was I going to talk to you guys about? Something new that's happened. How you doing over there, Steven? You doing all right?
Yeah. Yes, I'm doing good. I'm doing well.
That's good. Herb's okay.
I'm okay. I just thought of something that you've missed.
Oh, really?
And, Thailand.
Yeah.
Ask your wife about Pu Ping Palace in Chiang Mai.
In Chiang Mai?
Yeah, in Chiang Mai. Pu Ping Palace.
Well, let's ask her now. Hey, Gerpsy. We'll ask her right now about it. Maybe I've been there. I've been to the pooping.
Has a beautiful garden. It's the king's summer palace, I think.
We'll ask her. Have you heard of a place in Chiang Mai called the Pooping Palace? Yeah. That's what they say it is. Pooping Palace. She hasn't heard of it. But I do. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's got it. Herb's looking it up. The Pooping Palace, folks, in Thailand. And you can go there and bring your own toilet paper, by the way, if you're there. So have you been to the Pooping Palace, Herb? Or you just heard about it?
I just heard about it. It was in a film that we had about going to Thailand, a travelogue. We had it when I was in the Navy on the ship. And we watched it over and over.
Ping, P-I-N-G or something. Yeah. Ping, like P-I-N-G? No. Yeah. Yes. Yes, she does know about the Pooping Palace. But it's Pooping. She thought it was literally Pooping Palace. No. But in Thailand, you guys have been there, you have to bring your own toilet paper. There's not toilet paper in the restrooms in Thailand. Oh, people are sending me things. Oh, Dave Carter. Dave Carter's out there, folks. He's texting me.
What's up, Dave?
One of my favorites. He was on the show a couple weeks ago, and he does a show here too. But anyway, here's what I was going to tell you. If you're in Thailand and you bring your own toilet paper because they don't have toilet paper, and you don't know what you're going to run into when you go into the bathroom. It could be an American bathroom, or you might walk in there and then it's just a hole in the ground, or you might walk in and then there's a hole in the ground and a little tub of water and a bucket and a ladle, and you got to figure out what to do, how to solve this. Like it's a puzzle. Like I didn't know what the heck. So what I did, I think this is right. I pooped in the little tub. I scooped it out with the ladle and I threw it in the hole. I think that's the way to do it. Pretty sure. I've talked to some Thailand. Yeah. Oh, doi? On the top. There's a doi on the top of the Pooping Palace. There we go. Oh, is a doi? What's a doi?
something on the top of that.
Doi is something on the top. Okay. We're learning all kinds of things about Thailand. I went on my trip to Thailand. I also went to Laos, and it was this town they had just built a bridge over the river. You had to take a bus over the bridge to get into Laos. And anyway, I ate something that didn't really agree with me in Laos, and I ran into the bathroom in there, and I forgot about the whole bring your own BYOT thing. So when I'm done, I'm like, what the hell am I gonna do? And then I realized I had this money. I had exchanged money for some Lao money. Like, I think it's lousy Lao bills. They're not worth much. Like, you get a bunch of them. And I'm like, well, that's what I'll have to use. So I use the Lao money, and when I'm done, there was no doors on the, restroom in there. And so when I'm done, I look up, and I see there's a whole group of school kids all looking like at the American who was literally wiping his ass with their money. Like, what the, like, there's no between on that scenario. Either they love the shit out of America, or they have just created terrorists. There's one side to the other. But that's, hopefully they like us, but that happened. A lot of crazy stuff goes on in Thailand that you wouldn't believe, that I can't even talk about on this show. I won't even talk about it. Hang on, I'm looking at what else I was gonna. A lot of people have been talking about the virus lately. I don't know. It seems like people are over it. People are ready to get back to work, but it's still out there. I still think it's funny that dogs can smell the virus. I found out the dogs can only smell the virus like 50. They're only right like 50% of the time. The dogs, and so that's gotta freak people out. If the dog now, if your dog starts sniffing you, like, what the hell is it? Boy, do I got the virus? And it's like, no, I just had a sausage in my pocket. That's the dogs. It's because the dogs are cheaper. That's why they've got dogs. The dogs won't cost as much to smell the, like, they're like, okay, Mr. Devlin, well, that test is going to cost $200. Oh, for $10, old Shep over there will sniff you. For another $25, Harry the hamster will check your colon. Did I go too far? Is that too much?
It's comedy. It's never too far.
And then the funnier one was a couple weeks ago, and they did a whole study that farts could spread the virus. And they did somebody just fart? Did you just fart when I said that? Or?
that was me. That was me. I was brewing the whole show. So
I have a fart machine, and the batteries won't work. I can't believe it. I'm so disappointed. I have this one, but this is a sound effects machine. This is just has a fart at the end of the. I think that's more of a splat. That's what that's supposed to be. Farts can spread the virus. And then if you read the article, I read the whole article, of course, and it's and because your mask, the mask will protect you. So that means somebody would have to literally fart in your face with no pants on, and then you could get the virus from the fart. I'm thinking, okay, if somebody's farting in your face with no pants on, you have more problems going on than getting the virus. I'm gonna tell you. Farts are always funny. I don't know. Even if somebody farts coronavirus, I think it would still be funny. And people would just be laughing. I got the virus from a fart. How would you explain that? I got Jimmy farted in my face. Be a funny story. If you do have to fart, here's the thing to do: light the fart. Light the fart, blows up the virus, entertains the whole family. People should light their farts regularly anyway, just out of respect and entertainment. That's what I think. think Herb's letting a fart in his day or two. Were you the guy that let his fart at the parties, Herb?
Never.
Never. All right, we'll let you.
I knew a couple of guys that did. Also, one girl that did too.
Oh, that's more fun. I don't know why. It's a girl in there. Was it a girlfriend? That would be a fun date. So you bring her over to a date and she lights her fart. Is that what happened to her? That would be a date.
This was my girl. You know, I was in high school. It was one of my girlfriend's friends, and she would get drunk and do things.
Yeah, that's usually drunkenness is what would happen. So if somebody farts in your face, you know you're going to either get coronavirus or pink eye. That's what'll happen.
You don't want either of those.
You don't want either one of those. So no farting in the face. But there's always usually in high school, or junior high, somebody would be drunk and lighting a fart. I was never that guy. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. I went to Catholic school, so I had the nuns, the crazy nuns, to deal with in Catholic school. They're the nuns. They're evil. They would twist your ear and they poke you with their bony fingers, and then they'd whack you with the ruler. I had one nun. She was trying to whack me with the Bible. You don't realize the Bible is in the head of the Bible, and I ducked, and she missed me and then hit the globe. You know, the classrooms always have a globe. She hit the globe, and the globe went flying and rolling across the room, like symbolizing that's what my head would have happened if she would have hit me in the head. But nuns were, I had one nun, and she was a big nun. She grabbed me and she pinned me up against the wall, so I was dangling from my feet. She's like, all right, Devlin, well, I did do a lot of crazy stuff, but I didn't deserve all that. The nuns, or they'd take you, and if you were really bad, they'd take you to the principal's office, and then the nun principal had a big paddle. You couldn't do any of this stuff. Now she had a big paddle hanging on the wall, and remember one nun, she didn't just have the wooden paddle. She had a wooden paddle with holes carved into it, so she could get aerodynamically, how evil do you gotta be to we gotta get more velocity from here to the kid's ass. How do you do it? And she's like hired an engineer and figured out, well, if we put holes in it, you can whack them a little harder and faster, Sister Mary Margaret. And she did, Sister Mary Margaret. I remember it well. Oh, I remember it way too. I'm going into my Irish accent. But those nuns. No wonder I drank when I was a kid. I'd come home from lunch and have a couple of swigs, because the nuns would make you and then they tell you stories too, like in Catholic school. Like how God loves you. God does love you, Billy. He really does. But don't cross him, or he'll get you. He'll get you if you he'll cross. What the? And my mom would say the same thing. My mom would say, there was a guy, he got caught. He did something stole something from a convenience store, like pizza or chips or something. And he was running across the street and he got hit by a car and killed. And my mom said, see, Billy, God got him for his sins. For a pizza? That seems a little over the top. Maybe God has a bit of an anger management problem, So, thinking, there was that time that he flooded the whole world, right? That was, he's angry. And nobody saw that coming either, except for one guy who was building a boat in the middle of the desert. Everybody else was all excited. They thought he was building a casino. That didn't pan out. For him. Yeah, God's he's got a bit of an anger management problem. I know those nuns did. I think the nuns did all the anger. If you look, they they always have these shoes, these little shoes, and their feet are swollen up, popping out of those shoes, and that's where all the anger comes from. It's from their feet. That's my theory. It's from their feet. Look, I'm getting a text. Oh, hang on. All right. That's thought it was about the show. I was getting texts about the show. People are getting special requests, Stephen. People want to see. I know I'm doing a mixture of old and new bits. Oh, I told this story last week, and I guess somebody wanted to hear about it again. But when I was graduating, it's graduation season, and when I was graduating from high school, because I had skipped out so much, I wasn't passing a certain class, and so, all the news headlines was teachers aren't making much money, teachers are broke, teachers demand more money. So I'm like, well, teachers need money. I got money, and I'm like, so I came up with this plan to bribe my teacher. I'm like, how do I do it? How do I present it? So I figured out I would bring my notebook. And I don't know, I got to demonstrate you guys. But anyway, I brought my notebook, and I'm like, waited for everybody to leave. And I'm like, so I'm failing this class. Is there anything I can do? And she's like, no, there's nothing you can do. It's too late. You're failing the class. And I'm like, well, what if I turned in an extra assignment? And I show her the notebook. And she's like, well, what's that? I'm like, well, if I turn in this assignment, and I open it up, and there's $100 bill in there. For some reason, I thought $100 was the magic number to pass the class, and it turns out it was. She took the money, and I have a diploma, and that's my bribery story. Why would that doesn't happen every day, does it? Hey, here we go. Seemed like that joke needed a little something extra. Maybe a punchline. That's a true. Some of these are true stories, folks. They're not all. Okay. So we're binging all these shows, and so now I've realized I never wanted to watch them or really watch them. But there's all these shows where the vampires are all like cool now. Like, I mean, they're older shows. Like, this was not too long ago, but I mean, like, the girls all love the vampires. Like, oh, they're hot. Oh, he's cool. He's a vampire. And I'm like, no, that's not where I came from. Vampires were feared upon. There was a time when vampires were feared upon. Yeah, we didn't want the girls. Yeah, they're hot until they suck the life right out of you. You don't want that. Vampires. Anyway, that's I gotta finish that one. Some of these are just ideas, folks. I'm going coronavirus crazy. That should be is that a show? Coronavirus crazy? But yeah, the vampires. I don't have anything else on vampires. You'd think I would. If I prepared better, I would have more on that one. But I don't know. What else? You got any special requests, folks? Anything out there? Anybody wants to hear? Yeah, I graduated. I got 100% in that class. There you go. There's a punchline. They're coming in late. The punchlines are coming in late. What else is happening? I was going to tell you guys about I'm not drinking, so that's the problem. I'm drinking water tonight. You've noticed I'm sober, Bill Devlin. Again, I've done a few of these shows sober, haven't I, Stephen?
Yes, you have. And funny or sober, you still bring the funny.
Seems like I remember more stuff when I'm drunk. Could be. Just trying to look at. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you, and I told this story, but I just want to retell the story about, again, in Thailand. I got this thing I got like a sliver in my thumb in Thailand, and I got a sliver in my thumb, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna wait till I get back home to deal with this. I'm not gonna, dig around on my thumb in Thailand and I might get infection, right? So when I get home, I did the thing that you're never supposed to do, but everybody does it. You light a match to a needle, and then you dig the sliver out of there with it. Anyway, I did that, and but it didn't work. I couldn't find anything, couldn't get it out, and then it immediately started getting worse, right? So as the days went on, it like my thumb, like something was growing. It was like weird. I never saw anything like it before. So I went to the emergency room at Presbyterian Hospital on Vermont. I'm gonna say where they were. Anyway, because it's kind of dirty hospital in there. I don't know. And they came into the emergency room, and the woman, very nice woman, she decides to lance my thumb to get whatever's out of there. And she's poking around in my thumb, and she's like, I can't seem to get it. I can't seem to get it. And I'm looking, and she's got a thing, and it looked to me like something's actually in my thumb, like digging around, it's digging around, like it's dodging. She's digging, and this thing is dodging, like there's something in my thumb. I'm like, what the hell? And she finally gave up. She's like, I give up. I can't do anything about it. Wraps my now cut thumb up, and it's 10 times worse. It's 10 times. So I'm like, that didn't pan out. So as the days go by, it starts to grow and grow, like weird, like there's an alien something coming out of my thumb. And I finally start to really, anyway, so I go to my doctor, my actual doctor, and that was at that time, was a Russian doctor with my health insurance. And I drive up to the doctor's office, and it's on Santa Monica. This was a while back on Santa Monica by a check cashing place and a boxing place. There's a doctor's office, and out in front when I pull up, there's this Russian lady, and she's like in a clubbing dress, like a short dress, and her boobs are hiked up and sticking out, and she's smoking a cigarette with a rubber doctor's glove on. And this is my doctor, my Russian doctor. And she doesn't even have an examination room. She's just like, come in my office. Like, what the hell kind of doctor is this? Really, I had crappy health insurance, let's face it. So she's like, she looks, and she's like, is creature in your thumb? Like, it happens all the time. Like, apparently in Russia, they get the creature. And she's like, is creature, I give you prescription. She writes me this prescription in Russian and sends me to a Russian pharmacy. And I go in there, and it's a Russian guy, but he's younger, and he's like, man, this is some old school stuff. It's like Dracula giving me the prescription or something. He's like, this is a prescription for some tea, some ancient old tea. I'm like, tea? I'm like, what do I do with it? He's like, I don't know. So I'm like, what the hell? Do I drink the tea? Do I soak my thumb in the tea? Do I get the tea? I don't know what the hell to do with the tea. So I did it all, hoping it would go away, but it didn't go away. The creature loved the tea, thought it was delicious, and grew and grew. So now I'm starting to think I might lose my thumb. At first it was kind of funny, but now I'm thinking I could lose my thumb. So I go to this other doctor that my crappy health insurance has me go to, which is on Alvarado and 7. It's over by downtown. It's basically Mexico. It's basically you're in Mexico when you go to this part of LA. Nobody speaks English. Everybody speaks Spanish. And I go in there, and I tell them about my thumb. Somebody's translating. And so then they bring me into this room, and I'm in a waiting room, and one guy comes in, like he just comes in like he's in a war zone. He's like, oh my God. Oh. And it's a doctor, and he's like, you're American. Like, yes, we're here. Like, he's like, oh man, it's crazy day, crazy. And then I show my thumb, and then he's like, okay, so man, what kind of drugs are you into? And what, you were in Thailand when you got, so what are you, you're doing what? You're a smuggler or a drug dude? I'm like, no, just crappy health insurance. That's what it is. That's why I'm here. And so he turns me over to some other doctors, and next thing I know, I'm in a waiting room, and they put an IV in my arm, put me on a medical gurney, wheel me into a full-blown surgery room, and I have a surprise surgery on my, I didn't even know, nobody says, well, maybe they told me in Spanish, but now, and before I figured out, I'm like, what is this? Is this a surgery? And all of a sudden they just like, and I'm out, and I wake up.